what's up everyone? Welcome. So the ones that are here have a working Windows 11 system or whatever is the deal at the moment in the world. I'm also on a Windows PC laptop, so I don't have any problems as of yet. Let's hope that remains. So yeah, welcome everyone. It also just shows what kind of problem happens when one company owns so much real estate in the world, right? When one company goes down, the whole shit goes down pretty much. So, Leva, Joshua, Heike, Mido, Janis, CSU, welcome. Good to have you here indeed. Steven, T. Clepson, welcome. Hovel the Planet. Yeah, exactly. Christine, welcome. Steven. Oh, yeah, that would be an issue. Pierre, welcome. By the way, Pierre, I have, of course, read your DM, and I got to check the indicator. It's a request I've never had, so I need to plan it. But I think the best thing to do would be indeed to have a short meeting of like 30 minutes and check the indicator, get some more info, and have a look. I think that is most efficient, so we can definitely plan that. CSU, what's going on? Just just have a look online. You'll quickly look. If it wasn't for my wife, I wouldn't have known. And second, if I wasn't in the, I think it was, I don't know, Wu and Gold shared this. Someone in the gold area shared the problem as well. So yeah. J Magical, how you doing? Mac Magical. Jen, welcome back. Yeah, good to see you again. Chester B Tester, welcome. Good to have you here as well. So today's stream, everyone, is not going to be too long because tomorrow morning, Ashley and I have an event. And we didn't really know how far it was. And we just checked. And apparently it's on the other side of the country. That means that tomorrow morning, we are not in a position to go there. We have to go tonight. And therefore, tonight won't be an update. And we have to travel there tonight, which means we pretty much got to leave this afternoon because of how long we have to travel. So it will be relatively short. Aiming, I got to end somewhere between 3 and 10 past 3 because I still got to pack my bags and everything. But I just wanted to go live first to talk about the price action. So at least I informed you, and for the people that will watch the VOD, they will understand that tonight I cannot provide you with an update because I won't be home. And the next time I can provide you with an update will be tomorrow, probably either late afternoon or evening. So yeah, the daily naked point of control. Yeah, absolutely. I still have them on my chart. And we do have a daily naked point of control above us, at least. Perkyo, welcome. Good morning, Adam, Ali, Hoshi. So it's been very interesting price section. This morning, I will analyze the chart, of course. We're going to do some Elliot Wave analysis. But this morning, price was here. And the probabilities, of course, 886 touch higher to move towards the downside. And we got a solid move down. And we got very close to the low. And we bounced on another 886, taken from this low to the high. And then price moves to the golden pocket, which is quite common. And then it retraces. Bullish CVDs. And I'm like, don't and I literally wrote this in silver. Let me write this here. So I said there was an order block here on the 15-minute. The silver members will know. And I wrote, well, the order block here didn't offer any resistance really, because we kind of like, we moved above it. Next up is a 15-minute gap, which is this one. We have a double 886 touch at the low. Would be simply stupid if this leads to any form of an impulse. But you gotta go with the chart, no? So we got a solid move down. And the probabilities earlier today were to look for a move down, but actually we wanted to see the lows taken. And we literally have a triple bottom, 886, 886, and we just keep going up. The order block offered no resistance. Golden pocket, no resistance. And now we're at the 786 with the final area of resistance, which is a 5-minute order block. So I don't really like the price to move to the 886 here, because if we do look for a double zigzag down in a WXY, we want to see a three-wave structure, and therefore preferably you have your A, your B, or sorry, so A, B, and if this is some sort of a C down, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, that still works, right, for a bigger, slower C to the downside. But the moment you hit this 886, it of course becomes very unlikely that this here is your end of a correction, and this is 1, 2, and you go down for 3. So if you hit the 886, in other words, probabilities increase to take the high. But if we take this high, this range is going to be very long, this range here, to correct such a relatively short move to the downside. So interesting. Yeah. Goedemiddag, Hoshi. Ephraim, welcome. Bonjour, Serega. Hunter, what's up, guys? Look at the 8-hour order block. 8-hour. I've never used the 8-hour. 8-hour order block. Where is the... I don't see an 8-hour order block. So for me, this is not an order block. This would be an order block. Kinda. I mean, kinda. Not. I don't see any order blocks here, though. You mean this one? Yeah, I prefer order blocks where you have a quick move. Like, if this is an order block, for this to be, for me, a stronger order block, I suppose, what I would like to see is a bigger candle. And then ta-ta-ta, then come back and then have this as an order block. At least that's my favorite. But it is, yeah. Okay, so 8-hour goated. I'll keep an eye on it. I've never used the 8-hour time frame. It's never in my, it's not in my favorites as well. So much for the ETF news. I know, right? Oh boy. Okay. Let's make most of the time that we have together and remove all of this from my chart to clean it up. And we're going to go to the 4-hour time frame, and we're going to start here. So let me pull this up. Let me have a look here. 4, 2. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna cover both. Siu, welcome to Bronze. Thanks, man. Welcome. Thanks for the support. You got a nice badge behind your name now. You got the bronze badge, and then next month will be silver, and then the month after gold, and then I think you're gold for 3 months, then it's green for 6 months, and then it's blue, and then, you know, etc., etc. So, yeah, cheers. Welcome. On the CVD, by the way, you can see here we have bearish CVD divergences, but we already had it with this high here, lower high on price. But yeah, we didn't take the low, so it didn't yet play out. And we moved down, create this bullish CVD on the 886, which isn't interesting really. But then we moved up, moved down again, more bullish CVD. Moved up once again, more bullish CVD, this is on blue, and all of these bullish CVDs here locally have played out, right? So these bullish CVDs played out. The only one that hasn't is this one. But this bullish CVD here is in contrast to the bearish CVD we have here. So those are like, you know, opposing one another. We are at support, by the way. Let me find the screenshot. So I found this morning. I was looking at why did we find support here, but a volume profile, always good. So yeah, value area low tested above the point of control. Let's see if I can mimic it here. There we go. And yeah, value area low, ranging around the point of control, retest point of control. I mean, if you do take this high, it will increase probabilities to move up. Except for a wick, I would allow a wick. Anyway, we got to do Elliot Wave analysis. Let's do that. So 4 hour time. We'll get to the lower time frames in a second. No? Somebody just got kunst. This range looks so similar to the correction we had on the 17th into the 18th. Of what, Christian? RPOC is range point of control. It's the highest volume traded in a particular range. Perkyo, it will come. It will come. I'm waiting for the new update template, and then I will put it online. So it will, of course, be free. I'll probably only ask if people like to support the channel by registering as a on one of the partner links, but it will be free. Will be free. I don't want to make that a paywall stuff. Same like Discord. So many people have paywall Discords. It's stupid. You know, I value a community the most. It's much more fun, also for me. So yeah, it will come. It will come. I'm just waiting for a new one more update, which should improve it once again. But yeah, pretty neat. Anyway, let's start. Okay. I think on the 1 hour time frame, everyone pretty 4 hour time frame I'm now. We pretty much know what's going on. We're either counting a double 1-2 here, or we're counting a single 1-2, 1-2 continuation. Now, based on Elliot Wave International and the information they share, a multi 1-2 is more common than a leading diagonal. In other words, for an impulse to the upside, the probabilities would be higher for this to be a double 1-2 compared to this being a singular contracting diagonal. I did a bit of research this morning. So the probabilities, again, higher for a double 1-2 here, right? Now that means I might have to change my target area a little bit, and I'll explain that in a second, because what we have on the chart now is just a single one here. And the reason I put this one here in the middle of the two highs, right, is because I then don't have to choose between putting it here as a double 1-2 or here as a diagonal in wave 1. And in both cases, in an impulse, you at least expect 1-4 and 1-5, right? Doesn't matter, 1-2, 3-4-5, or 1-2, 1-2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. In both cases, you want to see at least 1-4 and then one more 5 towards the upside. But probabilities from an Elliott Wave point of view are higher for a multi 1-2 compared to a leading diagonal. Yeah. So that's good to know. So I will change a few things on my chart in a second. But in this case, if we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? In this case, we're looking for 4. Common target is on the chart. 63.8, 61.3. Invalidation is the 618 at 59.7K. Now let's change things just a little bit, okay? I'm going to put this 1 here. I'm going to put this 2 here. So now we go to the double 1-2. Then I have my second wave 1, which has to end at either one of these highs. So we just do that. Doesn't really matter. And then 2. And now this is where things start to get interesting. Do we already have a 3, 4, 5 finished? Right? A short wave 4. In that case, we like to put 1 there. Short 2, deep short 4, up for your 5, finish your 5, finish your 3, look down for 4. In this case, our wave 4 target should be pulled from the low of 2 to the current high that we have, being wave 3. In that case, this is your target area. Now, what is nice about doing this is you're going to play it safe. And that's nice, right? In trading as well. And what I mean with this is your invalidation is a little bit lower, right? Your target area is a little bit bigger. We have already hit the target area, just like with the previous pool that I had, which was from this higher low to the high, right? We also hit the target area, but you just give yourself a little bit more space to play with, right? So interesting. So therefore, in the upcoming pieces of content, I will pull the wave 4 target area from this low here. It just gives us a little bit more space to play with. And holy moly, do I have sun in my face. Okay, there we go. Very nice. So the target area 63.3, 60.2, right? And then the invalidation is 58.8. Now, preferably, right, yes, this can be a wave 4. Preferably, that's a wave 4 of a lower degree in that case, right? Again, a diagonal has a lower probability. So if we count this 1 and this 2, yes, it can be a 4, but it's probabilities. You can also have a flat in 2 here, by the way. So anyway, by all means, probability is higher still to see another high. We hit the 236 minimum target, generally, for a wave 4, common target area, and then 302.05. And then we still look for another impulse to the upside in a wave 5, which should be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave structure. And it would be oh so nice to hit the resistance here, 66.6 to 67.1k. I've been talking about this for quite a while, but the reason that is so interesting, and I can hardly imagine price not touching that resistance. The reason it's interesting is because of this point of control of the big range on the daily time frame. 66.9k is your point of control. It's the highest, or it's the most amount of volume traded in this whole range is here, right? So it's important resistance on the chart, very interesting resistance on the chart. And I am very interested to observe the reaction at that area. Now, locally here, because price is just pushing up, 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 we might actually start forming a multi-1-2. Even though we have 886 touches literally all over the place, this one is an 886 and this one. So from an 886 point of view, probabilities are higher to take the lows. But we're building bullish CVDs here. And we still have a bigger bull CVD as well, by the way, if we zoom out a bit. So you also have this one, higher low in price, lower low on the blue line, right? And we are still looking for price to eventually move to the upside. So there's always that possibility where you're like, okay, you know, we could have our 4, or we're looking for a bigger 3-wave corrective structure. But I still want to see that point of control hit. You know. And yeah, what I said, there's the potential here for a multi-1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and eventually explode in a wave 3. And then during the weekend, range around the point of control during the weekend before then looking for a retracement to the downside, right? So the 886, very good to know about, very good in its probabilities. But of course, like everything, there is no 100%. The 886 here played out very nice. And now we have 886s here, but there's no significant weakness. And in the setups update this morning, I said, well, you know, from an 886 perspective, it's more interesting to look for price to move down. But I posted a CVD pick and there's no weakness. We all the time have bullish CVDs. So we have to be aware of this bullish CVD and then locally bullish CVDs as well for the potential of a bigger move towards the upside. Which increases in probabilities also if you take out this high. So that's something that I wanted to at least, you know, I wanted to have that one said. Cool. Your alternative bullish scenario is that you already have a finished wave 1 and you look for a bigger 2. In this case, the potential for a flat ABC is on the cards People here will be bearish, impulsive move down. Common target 05786, 598, 562. So in other words, we are looking for eventually some retracement. In this case here, we look for a 4 and then one more push up in 5 and then a retracement. And here it would already be finished. Now from a Elliott Wave point of view, preferably this move is not yet finished. So in other words, this scenario has a higher probability compared to a finished wave 1 here. And also from a psychology point of view, I would like to see price move up a little bit further, if impulsive, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, create a higher high, then get a deep retracement and continue. That would be more attractive, in my opinion, from a psychology point of view, because it messes with everyone's psychology. Still moving up locally. Managing. Hey, I'm a trader, right? I'm a trader. I'm allowed to quickly do some stuff. I gotta manage my trade. So we have our bearish scenario, which is an ABC, right? 535, a diagonal in A, wave B, very, very short wave B compared to a diagonal in A in this case. And then we have our wave C. Wave C almost touched the 1.618, which does increase probabilities for a wave 3, bullish scenario, compared to a wave C. And if the high of your C is in, which preferably it is, you are then looking for an impulse to the downside, which on the lower time frame should be reflected in what you see here, which then is a double 1-2. So you then have 1-2, 1-2, and you want to see very impulsive continuation to the downside. Your first wave 2 hit the 05, common target area. Your wave 1 here is an expanding diagonal, which is rare, right? Expanding diagonal is always rare, never preferred unless all of the other stuff fails. Then you have another one, another 2. Now the thing here is that if we do take this high, right, preferably I end this wide 1 here. But from a fib time perspective, you can see that if price does make another high here, it's going to make another high after the 5 fib time, which is very long for a wave 2 to have such a correction. So it increases probabilities to take the high. If we move this wave 1 to the right, you're still fine. But I would personally prefer it on the left, really. Common target for your wide 2 is the wide box. We touched the golden pocket, right? 786, still a common target. And then you have the 886. You don't want to hit the 886, then probabilities increase to take the high. The bearish scenario, however, on the 4-hour time frame does have lower probabilities compared to the bullish scenario at this moment. Yeah. Then finally, this was one of the bearish scenarios we had. Actually, it's a bullish scenario because it's a corrective structure down in a WXY, double zigzag ABC for wave Y. We never made it down here so far. We do have interesting support, which is the 6-hour gap top. But we need price to move down. And the moment, we already hit the 886 now, didn't we, locally? 1 second here. So now you'll finish wave B. Yep. So this B, low probability, it ended here. So now we need to move wave B to the right, which means all of this has to be a corrective structure, not impulsive, which is a bit of an issue because even if we end wave A here, we then have a zigzag, W, we then need our X, and then wave Y can't be a zigzag, has to be a flat or a triangle. Well, at the moment there's no triangles here, and there's definitely also not a flat here. So it lowers the probabilities that if you take this high as well, you're still in a B. Again, increases probabilities for price to just move to the high there. Most bullish scenario is a finish structure, and interestingly in this case we then have of course a finish move down here. ABC, WXY. Let me remove this triangle from the chart because that is not relevant anymore here. And then up, your most bullish scenario is continuation up with a multi 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. As always, the 886 retracements remain rare for wave 2s, but it is still a target. It is just that the moment you hit an 886, the probabilities increase to take the low, as we by far most commonly see on the chart. But in this case, we have two 886 touches. And here, I'm not bullish here. We come down, I'm not bullish here. We build bullish CVDs, and we hit this order block. We retrace, bullish CVDs. Not bullish yet. We still have the bigger bearish CVD. And then again, bullish CVD once you move above the order block. And this is where I'm like, okay, you know, this is where slowly you start to think about continuation. Yeah, so very, very interesting price structure. Makes me think a bit of 56K, where we also had a lot of 886 touches, eventually impulsed up. But from an Elliott Wave point of view, it's an incredibly good rule to have, or a good piece of knowledge, that the moment an 886 is hit, most commonly, by far most commonly, the probabilities are higher to take that high or low. Now the same accounts for this one here. Take a fib from the high to the low, you hit the 886. But yeah. So it's going to be relatively interesting. These were the CVDs earlier. Now this one has to be changed to there. And then we have this one. And then we had this one. Now from an Elliott Wave point of view, let's summarize probabilities while observing local price action. Weekly time frame remains bullish, right? We didn't cover it, but it remains bullish. On the daily time frame, the probabilities are higher that this whole big range that we're in is a corrective structure, not an impulsive structure, increasing probability still also for continuation. So the same is true on the daily compared to a weekly at the moment. There's no signs to think differently at the moment. On a 4-hour time frame, the probabilities are so far also higher for an impulse to the upside compared to an A, B, C. So an 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 has a higher probability compared to A, B, C, and impulse down to new lows directly, right? And on the 15-minute here, we have to observe, but probabilities start to, with this move up here, the probabilities are lowered to move down. We have a triple bottom here. I can't believe it. Like again, a double 886 touch, but this bullish CVD is not interesting. This one, moi, and then you have the third one, and you're like, okay, I see what's happening here. So yeah. I'm still not too like, again, this is from an Elliott Wave point of view, but I'm still not too happy with having a 3-wave corrective structure ending here. It is such an awkward end of a 3-wave move, has to be said. Just thinking about WXYs in this range here. If this is A, B, C, your wave C is very short. But yeah, I prefer to hang around on the higher time frames now compared to being active. Like, of course, trading wise, I'm happy to be active on the 15-minute. But counting. This is an ABC. Your wave C only hit the 0.618, which is a rare target for a wave C. Plus your wave A is an expanding diagonal, which by itself is rare as well. If we have a WXY, then WXY in a sideways double combo, preferably X moves above 78% of your wave W, which it didn't. So we have to think, double zigzag. But if this is a double zigzag WXY, then wave Y most commonly is similar in size compared to W, which would be a target of 1 to the 1.236, which is the target that we have down here, which we haven't reached. So it's definitely an interesting day today. And we got a good move down, right? Trade management wise, very, very effective. But I'm not too keen to short a move up with bullish CVDs building consistently. Yeah. So now we do have a daily naked point of control. Please be aware, this is an area of resistance, right? So as long as you do not take out this high, a double zigzag is still valid, right? So you still have the A, B, C potential to move down, which definitely remains an interesting scenario unless price takes out this high. So my preferred scenario, like the primary scenario for downside at the moment, would be a WXY, where we have a 3-wave W, 3-wave X, and we look for a 3-wave Y, right? We take this from the high. Oops, that's the wrong high. Need this one. And of course, the preferred more bullish scenario, like actually that's the preferred, the primary bearish scenario would be WXY support 6-hour gap top and move up. The preferred bullish scenarios, of course, continue to the high, and then we have a finished 3-wave structure and move to the point of control. So we are still in the common target area for a wave B, by the way, for an ABC. Golden pocket 786, still common target area. It remains very difficult to give the highest probabilities to a bullish scenario based on the length of this move to the downside, because for an ABC, C is short, A is an expanding diagonal, and for a WXY, we never really had a 3-wave structure down, meaning a double zigzag ABC, interestingly. Of course, you could have W, X, and then a flat structure in Y with a very long C, extended C, which then probably is going to be the way to count this. Zigzag, zigzag, flat, W, X, Y. You took the high here, move down impulsively, finish, and then move up with a multi 1-2 where your 2 wave 2s bounced on an 886. Yeah, a bit ridiculous price action. Well, it happens. It happens. It's part of trading as well. But even though you have this type of like price action here, you can still trade it. Probabilities earlier this morning were higher to move down. We got a solid move down, so that was very nice. And then here, I'm not too interested to be part of a move. It's only when you have another CVD here, I'm like, okay, you know, there's definitely some absorption towards the upside. Let me put this on the chart. So yeah, this is it at the moment, right? Let's have a look at what you've been saying. We were here on the 4-hour. Blue one looks, yeah, but on the 4-hour time frame, the low that was made, so the first move up from the low can definitely be counted as an impulse. The second wave one is very tricky, but from a probabilities perspective, a multi 1-2 has higher probabilities than a diagonal, but in both cases you look for a wave 4 and a wave 5 minimum. So in both cases you look for upside. Consider the volatility this weekend. What's up this weekend? I don't know if usually the weekend is sideways unless there is something happening this weekend. If we get an impulse, could it go either way? Depends where we end today. If you end today at like the point of control, then you can have a multi 1-2 here, get a 3 up, and then so if today we end somewhere here, that's an if, right? Observe local price action first. or end here, then yes, you can have an impulse. But if we are here, then preferably your impulse is up. And if you're here, preferably your impulse would be down. So it depends on where you are when you move into the weekend. Do you see 335? 335 would be a flat structure, which at the moment I do not see here locally in this move down, but yes, you can have a 3, and then we want to see a bigger 3 and then a 5 for a bigger flat. That's definitely a scenario, but of course, preferably you take out the high and you move high enough for this to be considered. Did we just take the high now or not? Or nope. Put an alarm on it. Let's see if we actually take it or not. Good morning, Locksky. Good morning, good morning. Yeah, the 886 is always a good one to see. It's a nice fib level, and probabilities are very clear. Nothing is 100%. I keep hearing a lot of Elliott BTC guys saying that with BTC and futures in crypto, there are a lot of behaviors that differ from stocks. Anyone can comment. I disagree. Simple as that. I disagree. People sometimes talk about, oh, it's the leverage, or oh, it's the market and all that stuff. But, you know, like probably people said that as well when new stocks are introduced, right? There's always a reason to say it might not work there or might not work there, but in the end, it works everywhere, except when the chart is very, very new, or you have percentage charts like Bitcoin dominance. You can't really do a good Elliott wave on a Bitcoin dominance chart. So A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would be something if this is a zigzag up for the WXY that I, you know, flat X, zigzag. Yeah. But yeah, for me, no, it's completely the same. There's no difference between counting stocks or counting Bitcoin or altcoins. Elliott Waves has its rules. Those rules have to be respected. Yeah, it's just about the skill of the Elliott Wave analyst. And if you are not skillful enough, then yes, Bitcoin will probably, or altcoins will probably be a problem because of the potential of volatility. But still, it's just that the percentage moves on Bitcoin or alts are higher, but the structures are still similar. So I don't know who the other Elliott BTC guys are, of course, that we speak about, but I disagree. I have no problem at all counting Bitcoin and altcoins with very, very good accuracy. So yeah, there's no, I don't have any problem. Skill issue. I was looking at the move from the highs as A and being in the B today with an ABC structure. At the move from the highs as A, but then your A ends here, then in that case, of course, it's also an expanding diagonal. So I like to think about other structures than expanding diagonals, as they are rare until all the other stuff fails, of course. Yeah. Jeez, how are you doing? Expanding leading diagonal. Yeah, that is incredibly rare. Yeah, so of course, contracting is by far most common. You'd preferably look into a multi 1-2, or we have I'm still not, so a WXY is still on the cards here. So from a probability standpoint, as long as you don't take out the high, the probability is higher to take the low. But then we need to count this corrective, and that becomes a bit tricky. So I'd definitely be very patient here, because we have bullish CVDs moving up. There is the potential to count this as a 5 and this as a 5, right? So there's the potential for a double 1-2 with a 3 to the upside, which means you're going to blast like through the high here. The only corrective structure, if you do take this high, would be some sort of a WXY with a zigzag in a wave Y here. But then you have A, B, and then you need a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in C, right? For then a bigger WXY, W has to be a flat, so then you need WXY of some sort. I very much want to see weakness locally. So if we do get this, hit the daily naked point of control, then reject, get a rejection, and then bury CVDs. Now that's when I get interested to look for price moving down. A running triangle from the 16th, A, B, C, and then a D and an E. That is a scenario I spoke about in one of the recent live streams, but it's too early still. I always prefer to only wait for a wave D to finish. But it's definitely on my mind, yes. Yeah, daily naked point of control, always interesting. Okay, please give us... that is 66.9K. Yeah, 66.9K. That is the big point of control. You can also go to a daily time frame and just pull this is good practice for yourself as well, fixed range volume profile from where we are now to the beginning of the range. And the beginning, by the way, of this range is not from the high. Holy moly. Boop. Right? So we then, because a range is now, right? So we pull it from the red candle here. That's where I like to start, because that's pretty much, if you look at this here, right? From the start of this range to where we are now. Not even sure if you get a difference if you use the high, but I would never use the high here. Oh, you actually get a different point of control. Now the point of control is a below price action. But I wouldn't use the high there. I would use the beginning, the order block, the first red candle after that push on a daily time frame. That is the one I would use. I think those TA guides about crypto mean that basically auto stretch out the guidelines more than stocks do. Sorry. Stretches the guidelines. I would need, I guess, certain examples. Like, so when I count Bitcoin also compared to other charts, I don't have any issues. Also stretches the guidelines, and like, for example, the 886 is not a guideline. It's just a probabilities thing, right? Because it's rare for 2. But also on Bitcoin, we hit the 886 a lot, and most of the time you take out that low or that high. By far most common, especially if you build statistics on it. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really. But it's something. I mean, if people can compare it and build a database comparing stocks with alts, I would be interested to see the results. But it wouldn't be something that I would do because I don't really have a problem counting Bitcoin. Which leverage do you normally use? Normally, I use about 5 or 10x. Yes, Tim, I also have that one in mind. A WXY, that would be a bearish scenario. Oh yeah, CVD moving down here. That's a big dive. So of course, if we are in multi-1-2 territory, we don't want to change market structure. We don't want to move back below. Because in that case, look at the volume as well, by the way. It's highest here. So preferably, of course, you then have 1, 2, 1, 2, and then again 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and eventually you move up in 3. You don't want to change the structure, preferably, no? So that's something to pay attention to. Yeah, it remains a bit awkward to end the correction here. So I still have the WX Y in mind. That's your bearish scenario. Of course, you have the double one too, but that one has the least probability. So the WXY finishing around the 6-hour gap top would be the bearish scenario. The bullish one is you continue up. But then you need to take this high. Yeah. Short squeezing coming. Yeah, you definitely then need price to move up, no? Short squeeze. Yeah, no. Take it as it comes. I'm not confident yet. It remains a bit awkward to end a correction here. Yeah, 6 hour gap top would be interesting. I'm still, so it's in my mind, as mentioned before, the corrective structure I would count here would be a WXY now to end a correction here. So then you have a flat X zigzag. X can be anything. Right, and then X by itself should be WX and then Y. So then you have a W, which is a flat, X, which is a zigzag, zigzag flat, and then Y is a zigzag, right? A, B, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hit the daily naked point of control or something, and then reject. No. That is still something I have on my mind. And then of course you get your A, complex B, C down, 6 hour gap top, and then find support here, of course, and bounce. So yeah, look, if I had to give probabilities, then move down to take the lows with all the 886s there remains a higher probability unless we just take this high. That's your invalidation. It's an awkward ending to a corrective structure, but you're moving up on bullish CVDs. Market structure hasn't changed. No signs of weakness locally. We don't have like a grind down with bearish CVDs or a high volume move down at the moment just yet. We didn't even change market structure. So I first definitely need to see some weakness, and we might get weakness. I mean, what the hell is going on here? Either many shorts are coming in right now, or they're all being absorbed. But yeah, this remains an area of interest, and this one here. No. I do have to go, guys, because I'm already a little bit after the time I had. How do you recommend I start my education in Elliot Waves? BH635. I have completely free and public sources in the description. I have an Elliot Wave education title in the description with a website, just a public website that's very good, and a link to my YouTube Elliot Wave playlist, which is everything you need to know about Elliot Waves is in that playlist. So that's where I would recommend to start. Just do all the free stuff, but I put links in the description, and it's completely free. All right. Okay. Thanks everyone. It's a little bit of a short one, of course. Should be quite an exciting Friday, I think. But I can't provide an update tonight because I won't be home. I'll be in a hotel and stuff. And then tomorrow we have the event, and then I'll be back probably late afternoon. So I'll be live late afternoon, evening. The moment I get home, I'll take a shower and I'll be live. So I'll keep you posted. But don't expect an update tonight. Tomorrow morning and a live stream tomorrow will be late, right? Later than usual. So just so you know, it's that's how it goes sometimes. So trade safe. Right, we spoke about the different scenarios on the 4 hour and local, shared my thoughts as well, and the probabilities from a weekly time frame all the way to local stuff. So yeah, that's as much as I can give you. So thanks for the safe journeys and travels and all the good stuff. We are going to be doing very well. I'll be shaving. Not bad, but it's gonna go off. BH, it's a pleasure. BH, next time if you have any questions during a longer live stream, just ask me and I'm happy to explain as much as I can. So okay guys, trade safe, and I'll see you tomorrow, later tomorrow, right? Cheers.